I'll go ahead and put a disclaimer out there. This video is probably not going to be what you think. It's probably not what you thought you clicked on. And for those reasons, people will be upset and they will unsubscribe. They will dislike. They will leave mean and hateful comments. But I will promise you this, that if you actually watch the video until the end and listen and pay attention to what I have to share with you, you'll understand why if you don't choose to change the way in which you think, then ultimately you're more than likely going to fall victim to this wipeout.
There's only one of three reasons you're poor. You're either lazy, you're arrogant, or you're stupid. Now, when I say poor, what I basically mean is...
What's the number? 400 grand. Okay, now why did we come up with that number? Because I don't know how you guys could even live on that number. If I made 400 grand a year, I would be embarrassed.
Less money than me. Because I, Tate, Lord of Earth, set the bar. I set the difference between rich and poor. My amount of money is the amount of money you need to be rich. If you have less money than me, even by a single cent, you're a fucking brokey, a wagey, a peon, a peasant, a nobody. You are poor.
With myself as a husband, a father, basically as a human being. 400 grand. How do you make sense of $35,000 a month? You guys haven't done the math.
So when I sit here and make this video and call you poor, you can't sit here and go, I'm actually not poor. I'm doing pretty good with my business, actually, and I have a nice car. You have less than me. I'm the only guy on this fucking platform flying around in private jets with 27 cars, living this lifestyle in presidential suites in fucking fairy tale land. Only me. The rest of you are sitting there going, hey, I might be able to buy a BMW. You're fucking broke. You're all broke.
You have not done the math because you cannot live on 400 grand a year. And if you think you can live on 400 grand a year, I might have to go back and add number one. Nothing.
So once you identify and accept that you are broke because you're not on my level, then we must work out why.
Anybody can make 400 grand a year. All you got to do is show up. Okay. Now I don't know if I'm right or wrong. You guys don't need to agree with me. I've already been paid my fee.
And there's only one of three reasons that anyone on this planet would ever be poor. You're either lazy, you are arrogant, or you are stupid.
So odds are that whatever title and thumbnail combo and configuration I chose for this video is probably going to be extreme clickbait for some. But for others, welcome. And thanks for joining me. I intend for this conversation to be insightful and enlightening and educational and hopefully helpful in you gaining access, more information to the truth, and ultimately ways of which you can make better choices, better decisions, plan accordingly to adjust your strategies moving forward to not fall victim to the whims of the decisions and changes that are being imposed on us on a regular basis by our government, but also the mindless thought processes behind hoping, begging, praying, pleading for handouts and people to feel sorry for you. Interestingly enough, I'll share with you guys some information. I'll share with you guys and show you that past videos have produced some very, very shocking and exciting results, including me losing subscribers on my channel. But with that being said, if you want to make an omelet, you got to break some eggs. And I'll go ahead and put a disclaimer out there. This video is probably not going to be what you think. It's probably not what you thought you clicked on. And for those reasons, people will be upset and they will unsubscribe. They will dislike. They will leave mean and hateful comments. But I will promise you this, that if you actually watch the video until the end and listen and pay attention to what I have to share with you, you'll understand why if you don't choose to change the way in which you think, then ultimately you're more than likely going to fall victim to this wipeout that is in place, that is being set up and designed to basically eliminate those who are too lazy or unable to think for themselves and can easily be fooled and tricked by the basics and simplest marketing strategies and techniques used just to create YouTube videos or news headlines or magazine covers or whatever it may be, but also not willing to uh, take a closer look, deep dive, and understand more, improve, become better, smarter, wiser, stronger, faster, or else get wiped out. Now, the changes that I've made over the last few weeks, few videos, I've even deleted several videos from my channel in an attempt and a hope to reach those who care to have access to this information, who um, are patient enough to have these discussions and determine new, more, possibly better ways to improve and not uh, be ignorant and hateful and angered by others trying to share information and only to be triggered by my appearance or my location or my current economic status or anything like that, because at the end of the day, none of it matters. All that matters is what's going on now, what's going to happen in the future, and what you're going to do about it, and whether or not you're going to survive or ultimately be wiped out. Plain and simple. Simple as that. And this comes down to uh, just being smart, being educated, trying to become better educated, uh, learning more, and understanding what's being done to help you and what's being done to hurt you, and also how they can often be misleading and how they're presented and what their ultimate goals are. Um, Despite having lost many subscribers, I actually picked up many more, and that's what's important. I think it's what's important is having the right people to have the right conversations that not you can't have with everyone. And it's sad but true. Um, but I'm slowly starting to see a transition out with the old, in with the new. And I'm more than happy, more than willing to have these conversations and discussions with you guys as often as possible, as well as if you guys have any interest in even being a guest on, we'll call it the show, let's do it. Let's have conversations, let's have discussions. Let's try to, one, figure out what's going on, two, plan and prepare accordingly, and three, be better tomorrow than we are today. Let's get into it. So the first one I have here is from Yahoo Finance. They're all from Yahoo Finance. And honestly, uh, here's the deal, folks. Here's the deal. Regardless of where this information is coming from, we're going to take it with a grain of salt. I know there's some people out there that will say, "Oh my God, if you read anything from this publication, from this media outlet, from this news station or whoever, you're an idiot. You're ignorant. You're stupid." That's the problem. We need as much information as possible in order to even come close to having a chance at deciding what's real, what's fake, what's true, what's augmented, what's really going on, what a human may tell you versus what AI may tell you, and how neither one of them could be accurate. Both could be wrong. But either way, let's go into how you need to make a whopping $140,000 per year in the US just to afford a $500,000 house. And, you know, the keys here are that home ownership is growing increasingly out of reach for the average American, even if you earn an average above average salary. And what's most important here isn't where this is in the US. I don't care. Or, how unbelievably expensive home ownership has gotten, along with almost everything else for that matter. What matters most here, that I'm going to tell you guys, what matters most here is what most people will skip over. What most people will skip over and have zero interest in reading. never see it and shy away from it because they're afraid, because they're lazy, because they've been told before in their lives that they can't do this. And that is the second line of this headline, which is use these 3 simple tips to get into real estate without a fat 6-figure salary. That's the key, folks. Everyone's going to read the first headline of the headline and that the housing market is unaffordable and you got to make a ton of money. Yeah, you're right. You do. And I'm going to tell you that no matter what, you need to make more money. Even when we get into the topic of discussion of Biden and his ridiculous new proposal to make those with better credit scores pay more for mortgages than those with worse. And ultimately, at the end of the day, what it boils down to is if you're looking to uh, improve, if you're looking to continuously work towards improvement and success, that comes with a cost. But that cost is unfortunately you're going to subsidize that cost for those who choose not to. But at the end of the day, all you can do is make more money. Okay, that's all you can do. You know, inflation's not going away, prices are not coming down, homes aren't becoming less expensive, travel isn't being less expensive. uh, Everything costs more. You have to make more money. This is an unpopular truth. A lot of people don't want to hear it. A lot of people are going to click off from the video. A lot of people are going to thumbs down, unsubscribe, uh, comment with their complaints and reasons and excuses to why they can't. But I'm going to tell you right now, I don't care. You have to. You have to. Otherwise, uh, your alternative would be to fall into this category and rely on the government to support you and rely on others to subsidize your lifestyles. Ultimately, um, adding resentment to others who aren't pulling their weight, but also realize that guess what? If if anybody, doesn't matter if it's me, whoever, if anybody out here has to pay more money to subsidize those who choose not uh, to subsidize those who choose to make poor decisions, bad decisions. I'm not talking about the people who physically can't. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about the people who purposely make poor decisions and bad decisions, and we have to support you. Well, guess what? We are going to make prices go up. We are in control of something, somehow, some way, some business, some portion of the economy. We are in control of that. You are not, because you are not actively working towards improving this society. Therefore, okay, sure, I got to pay $40 more per month on my mortgage because of people out here that don't necessarily want to follow the 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 paths that I have chosen to make sure that I qualify for the best mortgage rate and the best. I'm a prime candidate. Okay, sure. You got Biden coming in here and pouring in and adding his ingredients to this recipe for socialism. That's fine. Breeding laziness. That's fine. I will just in turn charge more for everything that I do in business. That will make you in turn pay more tenfold over this ridiculous increase in mortgage payments. Next one here says that a salary under this amount is a dating deal breaker for many Americans. And here's how you can avoid being part of the 64% of US couples who say they are financially incompatible. Now, I think that this headline overall should resonate with a lot of people because there's a lot of content on YouTube right now about relationships, mostly how men are staying single, women are staying single, and they don't want to get there's no such thing as this monogamous relationship and building a family and getting married and things like that. But either way, I mean, if you're for it, if you're against it, if you consider yourself to be undateable or whatever it may be, maybe it's not your personality, maybe it's not that you're an introvert, maybe it's not that you don't know the best pickup lines or anything like that. Maybe it's the fact that financially you're just incompatible. And the compatibility, I don't care what this article says, comes down to the mindset of the two people in the relationship. Man and woman, man and man, woman and woman, they and they, however you want to phrase it. I don't even give a shit. The two people in the relationship, or maybe three, because we got these polyamorous relationships, multiple partners, and things like that. You have to all be on the same page mentally, financially. Otherwise, that incompatibility is not going to work. Whether you make a lot of money or you make a little bit of money, if you're not on the same page, you're going to be doomed ultimately, unless somebody is just completely willing to forego their opinions and beliefs about money and finances for the greater good of the relationship, and carry that weight and that burden, or be that burden and that dragging anchor. But again, resentment will be present. Real estate billionaire Sam Zell warns that the sky high prices aren't going away anytime soon, and says that the Fed screwed up and there are three assets to help protect your wealth. So, again, we're talking about real estate. We're talking about money. We're talking about the simple fact of the matter is that you have to make more. You know, uh, sky high prices aren't going away anytime soon. And I would be willing to bet that the higher interest rates aren't going away either. So, if you want to have a possible chance of owning real estate, then there's not much you can do about it. Um, and as far as how much these things cost, you're just going to have to make more money. You're going to have to make smarter investments. You're going to have to save better. You're going to have to budget wisely. You're going to have to work to make this happen. This is what is here. This is what's coming. Meanwhile, the housing market 2023 prices are now so high that banks are losing money on mortgages. So if you think about it, if the banks are losing money on mortgages, what are they going to do? They're going to stop losing money on mortgages, which means that mortgages prices are going to continuously go up higher and higher and higher. So we have to be prepared for that. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself in a situation saying, oh my God, I can't believe that things are the way that they are. I can't believe it either. But guess what? They are. Therefore, we have to change what we do in order to adapt and adjust and prepare for that. Now, I do want to share with you guys that despite losing lots and lots of subscribers and videos getting less views, I do think that I'm actually connecting with the right people. And I really do appreciate all of those people, all of you who watch, like, subscribe, share, comment, and understand what I'm trying to bring to you. This is not about me trying to pretend to be better than you. This is about me sharing with you my experiences, my opinions, my thought processes, and hopefully you guys wanting to do better and having the ability to do better by having access to this information. Oftentimes, the lack of success comes from the fact that people are limited in their exposure and unable to have these conversations. Okay. But in total, for the last 28 days, this channel has lost over 2,100 subscribers and counting. Ouch. I mean, if you just think about it, I've lost more than double. I've lost more than 2 times the amount of subscribers needed to meet the subscriber count requirement minimum to be invited to apply for the YouTube Partner Program, and then just be reviewed for possible acceptance in AdSense ad revenue monetization. That's crazy. And I did it on purpose, okay? Because I feel as though it is far more important to reach you all with this important information for success, okay? For actual preparation in surviving what is coming, what is happening. A lot of the channels that I was tied to early on, which my audience has since changed. Now I'm more of a news channel, according to what YouTube's telling me. Their focus primarily was on something completely different than what I was talking about. But it's funny how they've mostly changed their tune now, and we're all on the same page that financially, economically, we have this fiduciary responsibility to ourselves and our families to prepare. Otherwise, what's going on, what's happening, changes, bill proposals, executive orders being passed here in the United States, in America, and other events that are happening globally around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, you better get that money right, is what I'm telling you. Now, here's where we're going to lose some folks here, because the stimulus update, new proposal could give Americans' monthly $1,200 checks. This is not an answer. This is not a solution. This is a ridiculous. Look at me. Let me get my name in the news proposal by Ilhan Omar, because here's the unpopular truth. There's a portion, there's a fraction of society out there that these lawmakers, these politicians know are going to gravitate and latch on to these ideas of something for nothing, free money, handouts, stimulus, welfare, whatever, whatever. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not the answer. And if you can't see that by now, then you might want to go get your eyes checked. Not to mention, this will never happen. It will never happen. And part of the problem is just that, this entitled group of people who think that they are owed something, not realizing that there are also people out there that abuse these programs that make them extremely ineffective. Son of $1 million man charged in welfare scandal involving Brett Favre. So, former pro wrestler Theodore Ted DiBiase Jr. was charged with misappropriating millions of dollars in federal safety net funds intended for needy families and low-income individuals in Mississippi. According to the Department of Justice Office of Public Affairs, the $1 million man, the son, DiBiase Jr., who is the son of the $1 million man, reportedly funneled millions of dollars from two charity organizations who received money from the Emergency Food Assistance Program and the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families effort. Look, folks, this is what I'm telling you guys about when I'm talking about food stamps and EBT and SSI, SSDI, and all these other things. People are abusing these systems, okay, which makes the other people who have to subsidize these lifestyles for everyone else not want to do that, and then continuously drives costs up while our government completely and deliberately wastes money sending it to the entitled, those with their hands out. And again, unpopular truth here, but this should hit home for a lot of you to understand what the problems ultimately can end up being, as we see that Social Security is at risk. Joe Biden wants to make this big Social Security change, and most Americans could be on board with it. But why is he making a change? Why does he even need to make a change? It's because we know that by 2032, 2033, 2034, maybe at the latest, there's going to be a huge shortfall in the Social Security trust fund, and people are going to be seeing huge percentage chunks reductions in their Social Security if they'll even qualify to get it. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you right now, I'm telling you again, you have to please pay attention. This is important. Make more money. Spend less than you make. Budget. Eliminate high interest revolving debt, credit card debt, other expenses that are unnecessarily eating away at your money and the strength and the power of your money. Save and invest.